was conducted nearly 100 years ago in 1926 in honor of the late Harry Houdini. Curtis's close brotherly friend and fellow magician, Tom Kobrowski, has flown in from Chicago to conduct the Broken Wand ceremony in Curtis's honor, and will share some memories of Curtis as well. Tom.
Tough. I feel like a prop. I feel almost like an intruder because most of you here have known Curtis, and I've heard stories today, and every time I've come down to the islands to visit, I've known Curtis for 30, 40 years. I only knew Curtis for about 15 years, 16 years, and so I feel like the newbie in the room, like I don't even belong here, but in that time I got to know him very well. So I met Curtis on, my dad was a former military, and he and my mom used to come down and spend a month at the Aloha Oe every January from Chicago. So they would get a second room, and my brothers or I or somebody would come down for part of the trip. And I've been coming here for a while, and finally I thought, there's got to be some magicians I can meet up with down here. And I posted on the Genie forum, hey, I'm going to be in Hawaii if any magicians are interested. And of course, Curtis immediately messaged me, yeah, great, let's get together. At the time, he was living close to the Aloha Oe, not far from there, within walking distance. So the first time we met, we said, he said, I'll come by the hotel about noon, 1 o'clock. And I think we purposely set the time thinking, well, maybe if we didn't get along, we'd still have a chunk of our day left to be able to do something, right? So he came to the hotel, he sat down, and we started talking about our history and magic, what we learned, how we had started, and realized that we had like a parallel life, thousands of miles apart than growing up, because we're exactly the same. Well, almost exactly the same age. He was 6 months younger than me, which he liked to keep remind me every time we were talking about it. And we ended up doing magic and talking for like 4 or 5 hours, then walked over to the Wailana coffee shop, had dinner, then came back to the Aloha Oe until like midnight. And then I was flying out like the next day or so, where he would have been ready to keep going or keep on going. And ever since that time, I would come back and visit. My dad passed away a number of years ago, and so I was no longer able to stay there, but I would still come down to Hawaii to visit. And I'd stay at the Hilton Hawaiian Village or somewhere in that area. And I'd stay for a couple of weeks, and at one point Curtis said, well, why don't you just come down and stay with me for part of the trip? So I'd come down, spend about a week with him, and it would be nonstop magic the week I was there, literally. I mean, we would get up in the morning, he'd start doing magic, we'd go out for breakfast, and then about 11 or 12, he'd say, all right, I gotta go into the law firm for a few minutes, or a little bit, I'll get hold of you later. He would go into the law firm, and by 2 o'clock, I'd get a phone call or text saying, all right, I'm on my way back. And we would end up meeting up with Alan or other magicians or doing something. So I always said, and he either had to be the world's best attorney or the world's worst attorney. He either was so good he got it all done like that, or he just didn't care. And obviously he cared, and he was just that good at what he did. But again, it was just because his focus was magic. I mean, that's truly what he was all about. So let me do the Broken Wand ceremony, then I'll have a couple of comments. I realize I'm standing between everybody and lunch, so I'll be quick. Anyone who knew Curtis, anyone who knew Curtis, well, first of all, one thing. I love this. When he got his award at the Academy of Magical Arts Award last year, he opened it with this following snippet. And I think this if somebody said, who was Curtis Kam? I think if you would just read them this introduction that he used for himself, it comes through completely who he is. He says, aloha. I'm channeling the voice again too, Jim, sorry. Aloha, my name is Curtis Kam. I've performed most of my life in Honolulu, Hawaii, which explains two things. First, why most of you would never have heard of me. And second, if you are not from Honolulu, I am the first Chinese person named Curtis that you've met. If that was on your bucket list, you can check that one off. #sad bucket list. And to me, that just sums up Curtis. I mean, completely. His sense of humor, the way he approached things. I love that. So anyone who knows Curtis knows that the art of magic was his passion. Studying, creating, and particularly sharing his magic, either in performance or teaching, was a large part of who he was. In 1926, the Society of American Magicians performed a special presentation for the legendary magician Harry Houdini after he died in Detroit. Since that time, it's become customary to present the broken wand ceremony for magicians for whom magic was an important part of their life. It truly is my honor to now present that ritual, performed as it was for Houdini, for another legend on our friend Curtis Kam. The wand and story and symbol is an ancient conjuring representation of mystery. To the uninitiated, it's just a piece of wood. To Curtis, it was a reminder of the joy and pleasure of an entertainment art that has existed since ancient times. The promise of the magic wand linked Curtis with others of like mind and heart, and the vast magic fraternity truly around the world. Without Curtis, this wand has no purpose. The magic that infused itself into the life of performing on this earth is now broken as we bid farewell. And since this is Curtis, ta-da! Thank you, Ted Lee. The magic of Curtis' performance is over. The magic and mystery that he shared will remain in our memories as commemoration of the marvelous life that he had. May we have a short moment of silence now, please. Thank you. Exceptional magicians and people like Curtis will forever be remembered for the profound impact they had on the lives of those they mentored and inspired. As Curtis's wand is laid to rest, his ta-da moments will endure forever, continuing to mesmerize and delight audiences through the generations of magicians he influenced and the timeless magic he created on social media, through DVDs and other platforms. I'm reminded of the observation that a teacher's responsibility is to eternity, because they can never tell when their influence stops. Ohana is a real thing. Those of you here know that. It's not one of those Hawaiian words that only turns up on a song lyric. I've experienced it every time I visited these islands, and from many of you sitting here in this audience right now, and particularly from Curtis. But as you know, in Hawaiian, ohana translates to family. And it's a much broader meaning than just blood relatives. It's extended family, close friends, and even neighbors. It's a term that emphasizes unity, support, and a shared sense of community where no one is left behind. Curtis was and will always be ohana. I was blessed to be his friend. I shared many adventures with him. I sometimes even stayed at the stage with him. And I was blessed to be there in those last days. I miss you dearly. And one more time for Curtis. Well, and just in case you can't see, this is actually something Curtis himself made. Ta-da! Thank you all. I want to thank the Kam family for allowing me to be here and be part of this ceremony. And this broken wand is for the family. The bag was made by Autumn Morningstar to keep the wand there. So, Chris, thank you very much.